Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So today's question is, how will our first meeting go? I'm thinking that this is a romantic meeting, that you've met somebody online, you know, some sort of dating app or even a forum, and you've arranged to meet up, or you know, you haven't met this person in the flesh, but you do know about them because of online communication. And now you're going to meet up and you're just anxious and curious about how it's going to go. I mean, some of you are either travelling at a distance to meet this person, or they're travelling at a distance to meet you. But others of you, this is really actually quite a local person, but you only know each other online. So if you can, leave this reading as close as possible to the actual arranged meetup in order to get the most accurate reading that you're going to possibly get. Because remember, the energies are always changing. We all make decisions that change our path. We have options. And tarot really does reflect the energies of sort of now, of the time of you watching this video, because the pick a card readings are timeless. So if you are meeting up with someone but it's not a romantic rendezvous, then it doesn't matter. You can still listen to the reading, but just remove all the sort of romantic interest and sexual interest. I am using as one of the decks the Tarot of Sexual Magic, so there will be some imagery that is aimed at those that are 18 years old or older. So just be warned about that. So we have option 1, 2 and 3. I'll put the timestamps in the comment section and in the description box. In the description box you will also find everything that you need to know about booking a private reading with me, my email address, links for the decks that I'm using for these readings in this video, and all the links and all the information that you will need. And if it's not in the description box, check the About page in my YouTube channel. So now I want you to think about this meeting. Think specifically about the person that you're in communication with and that you've arranged to meet up with, and reflect on what's being said and what you've got planned, and ask the question, how is this first meeting going to go? How's it going to be? Meditate on it, open your mind, calm it down, take a few deep breaths, feel relaxed, and then make your choice. And don't doubt yourself. Don't think there's going to be another option that will be better. Excuse me. Just trust yourself. And when you're ready, make your choice. If you need a little bit more time to do that in the peace and quiet, then please press pause, because I'm now going to be moving on to reading 1. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, this is your reading. How will this meeting with the person you've got to know online go? How is it going to go? Oh, we've got the Justice card. We've got the Dreamer, which is the Fool. And we've got the Princess of Autumn. That's the Page of Pentacles. Here's the Sexual Magic Tarot. 7 of Chalices. The Magician. And the Queen of Chalices. Oh, okay, so be rest assured that this meetup is going to be okay. It's going to be fine. I mean, I wouldn't imagine that it's going to be too, well, I don't know, actually, maybe I'm just too reserved, but I can't imagine it's going to be too intense in a first meeting. And I mean, I don't know what your expectations of this meeting is and what your partner's expectations are. We've got the Justice. Take time to review the details carefully. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Take time to review the details carefully. You will win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. I'm going to take that as you really need to pay attention to the details. Check the times and dates and place, you know, where you're meant to meet up, and how are you going to recognise each other? Do you actually physically know what they look like? If they sent a picture, you know, this is what I look like, and all the rest. But I think if you pay attention to the details, even of all of your communication with the other person about, don't try and see any hidden messages, you know, there's a double meaning in that, and all that kind of stuff. Just see, you know, the facts. Don't, if your person of interest has said one thing, Don't think that they're being coy or shy and that, you know, you might, you know, swing them round to your way of thinking. If they said something very clearly, you know, that this is what's going to happen in this meeting, or this is what their expectations are, trust that and pay attention to it, and don't expect any more than what you should expect, because it's the Justice card, it's the law, the balance between the two of you. It should be a balanced meeting, you know, where you give to each other and you take from each other, but in an agreed fashion. Balanced. The dreamer, the fool. Embrace your true purpose. Begin a new adventure and trust yourself. So just go off to have fun. Don't be worried about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you know, pay attention to, you know, but don't be afraid that you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a great time, and go off on a little adventure and meet this person. I mean, I would always say when you're meeting someone from online and all that, you always make sure your parents, your friends, your family know exactly where you're going, when you'll be back, and all the rest of it, and meeting in a public place. You know, take care of your own personal safety, but go off and have an adventure, meet somebody new, and just think, oh yeah, I'm just going to meet this person that, you know, online, it's going to be fun. And trust yourself, trust your own judgment. I mean, it's completely different speaking to somebody online and you know, having time to think about what you're going to type out, to actually meeting them face to face and having actual physical chemistry. You know, maybe you could be really great friends with this person, and for some of you it could be a romance, and that's the purpose of the visit. So yeah, just go, trust yourself, just think, oh, what, you know, I'm not going to lay any expectations on this meeting. Just go, I'm going to go and see what happens, and be open to it, and sort of not be disappointed if I don't get what I want, because I'll be pleased that I've got something. Oops. So we have the Princess of Autumn, the Page of Pentacles. Studious, responsible, cheerful, mischievous. Happy news about your career, promotions or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly. Needing a little push to get going. So it might be a bit slow initially when you're both a bit shy with each other. But then it'll warm up nicely and you'll have a good time. If this is something to do with a career or some other relationship where it's not romantic or anything like that, or a personal one, if you take the preparation and pay attention to the details, things will work out the way you want them to. Well thought out plans that go perfectly. And this is, I think, because you're really putting thought into what could happen, what's going to be, you know, bracing yourself for things not going exactly the way you want, that, you know, some of your jokes might fall flat, or you both suddenly feel really awkward with each other. If you're thinking, well, that's going to happen, and when that happens, I'll just offer them a drink. Say, oh, should we get a drink? Sit down, you know, tell me about, and the last thing that you were discussing online, and blah, blah. So it might just need a little push, a little bit of effort on your part to warm things up. Because there might be, you know, you might be intimidated with each other, you know, you're just thinking, oh my God, I've actually, you know, they're here. But I think, yeah, you'll be fine. It's just about paying attention, and, you know, the Princess of Autumn is the student, studious, responsible, cheerful, mischievous. Bring a bit of humour to it. You know, if you both share jokes online, you know, you've got a rough idea of what their sense of humour is, apply that. So now we've got the Seven of Chalices. I think it's going to spark both of your imaginations. I mean, you know, they might be fantasising about being with you. You possibly will be fantasising about being with them. But it gets the ideas going that there's choices, there's options. And if this is a bit too full on for you, thinking I'm only just meeting them, I don't want to, you know, do anything other than share a meal with them and a conversation. It's just about options and exploring each other. And I would say actually sort of thinking, well, what am I going to ask them next? What am I going to find out about them next? And getting over that shyness. I'm just going to check the little booklet because I'm positive that it's getting over the shyness in this deck. Flight of Fancy, the magic of the 4 leaves of mint. Those are the 4 leaves on there. The penetrating perfume of mint is like the thought of our loved one upon us. It fuels ideals and plans of love. So there's been a lot of expectation for this meeting, and it's finally happening, and it's just wonderful, I think, for both of you that you're actually together and meeting up, and you can just sort of explore. You get, it's fueling things, ideas within you, as I say, options, choices. How could this go? The possibilities almost seem endless. Some of you might want to take some extra strong mints with you just in case. I might make you feel a bit more relaxed. Because we have the Magician next, which is, you know, the Magician, it's about putting yourself on display. I think some of you are gonna feel the urge to show off. But what I would say actually is, don't be afraid to show your true self. Show all of your skills, brag a little bit, or, you know, you can be a bit, you know, demure and sort of bashful. You don't have to be a great big show off that, you know, will put them off. I mean, maybe they will, but you can certainly not hide your light under a bushel, and you're revealing yourself. You know, the Magician really puts himself out there and puts on a display, if you're going to believe that he's putting on a magic show. But he's, yeah, he's got many skills and not afraid to use them. So if you're funny, tell jokes. If you are a great conversationalist, do it. If you know all the best places to visit in, you know, they've come to visit you in your town, and you know all the best places to go, show that off. If you're the traveller going to see them, show how willing you are to be open to new experiences and try new things. You know, just... you know, you've come to meet each other, you've got to show each other who you are, and I feel that probably what's going to happen at this meetup, that you're really going to, you know, show each other, be confident and skillful and unafraid. And we have the Queen of Chalices. I think you're going to really just get on and like each other. You know, the Queen of Chalices is the Queen of Cups. It's about emotional sensitivity and care and consideration for each other, for each other's feelings. So, you know, yeah, I think you're going to be aware that the other person, you know, particularly if one's going to a new place, and can be intimidating to some people to meet a stranger in a strange place, but they clearly want to because of this meeting. So you've got somebody that needs a bit of care and consideration, or that you do, and I think that's going to be shown, that you're going to really yeah, nurture and take care of each other. Like, oh, I'll make sure you get back to your train station, or I'll do, you know, oh, I remember you would never eat this particular type of food, so I found, or this is your favourite food, isn't it? So look, I found this restaurant, I've never been there before, but let's go with confidence, you know. So I think, yeah, this is going to be a great first meeting. I think, yeah, there's going to be shyness and a bit of sort of don't want to overstep the mark, paying attention and all the rest of it. But that it will overall go really well. Because I think you're caring about each other's feelings, and you're seeing the possibilities in this and paying attention to each other and not wanting to ruin it. So you're seeing the opportunities and are making sure nothing's going to go wrong, so that you can't explore them further in the future if both of you wish to. So yeah, I don't think this is a bad meeting at all with this person. So those of you that chose option 1, I really hope this first meeting goes very, very well for you. Please take care of yourself. I really wish you all the best of luck for this first meeting. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 2, this is your reading. How is this first meeting going to go with your person of interest? So, 8 of Summer. The Star. The Moon. The 2 of Swords. The King of Pentacles and the 6 of Chalices. Okay then, so this is interesting. I think it's going to be okay, this first meeting. I mean, it's only talking about the meeting and not much else after that, but the meeting itself is going to go okay. I think that the desire for a more meaningful life, realising that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes. So I think that both of you really want a fresh start. That becomes clearer as we go along with the other cards. But I think there's a desire for a fresh start. I mean, normally I would say that you have met before and this is like giving each other a second go. But I don't. I think actually, or maybe actually for some of you, this is a second try at meeting up, or even third, or whatever. Maybe you've tried before to meet up and it's not worked. Either with literally this exact person, or you've tried to meet up with people online before and it's not gone very well. For you or for them, actually. So yeah, there's a lot of hope that this time it's going to work, that it's moving on from past failures, from what things that don't work in the past. So maybe this is a brand new thing for you because of previous failures, maybe with different websites or different people, and that you're making a big change. You've decided that you're going to take a risk and do this. The Star. Look to the future with hope and optimism. The power of faith to move mountains. Happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. This date, this first meeting, is going to go really well. For whatever reason you're meeting this person, it's just going to go really well. It's going to go better than you expected. You know, the chemistry might be really well. You know, you might just suddenly think, oh God, this person's great. This is, or even if they're not great, I think just perhaps going to meet them and having a nice time with them will be brilliant for you or them. Because we've got the Moon as well. Powerful intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear, understanding the truth of a situation. So I think you're going to actually get a real bolt of clarity due to this first meeting. Whether it's meeting them and discovering that they're lovely online and great as an online friend, but in person it's just not working, and that maybe the dynamics are better suited to being online. Some of you are just going to be like, oh my God, this person's great. Others of you, it's going to be an epiphany or a revelation or a deep understanding of something that's not necessarily connected to the person themselves, but perhaps just to what you've been doing or the situations that you've been put into or that you've found yourself in. I think it's just going to suddenly, you're going to have like this moment of like, aha, I get it, aha, yeah. And it's going to allow you to move away from something, maybe towards this person or the situation that involves you meeting this person, or away from them or away from what you've been doing. So this is why I'm saying that overall it's really positive, this first meeting, because whatever happens, something really good's going to come out of it. And I sense probably for you. We've got the Two of Swords, which is always excellent advice anyway, because in this deck it means do not give more than you're willing to. Don't promise to give more than you're able to give. So if you can only promise to stay for 5 hours before it's time for you to, you know, get your train or travel back, say I'm only here for 5 hours and I'm leaving in 5 hours time. Don't say maybe when you mean no. And don't accept promises from them that deep down you know they're not going to keep. So if there's an expectation of meeting again for a second meeting and you're not sure, don't say maybe, say, oh, well, at this moment in time I can't, but let's, you know, and if you're open to it, in all honesty, say, let's see what the future holds. But if you say in the next couple of months, no, we can't meet each other again, but let's see, you know, let's keep communicating online, stick to that. And don't, you know, if they want to take it further or you want to take it further and the other person's not as comfortable with that, accept it. You know, it's a first meeting, you shouldn't expect wonderful things. And always, I'm going to say this with all of the readings regardless, is you only know this person online most likely and you've not met in person. Always consider your personal safety first. Let everybody that matters and who checks up on you know where you're going, who you're going to meet, what's going to be happening and all the rest of it. It doesn't mean that you're in danger in any way, but you know, personal safety first. Because we've got the King of Pentacles, which in this deck is sort of actually called like fear, which is don't push yourself too forward, don't come on too strong, don't be all full on, where you know, The King of Pentacles here probably isn't in any danger to her. He's just so excited. He just wants to be with her. But he's scaring the bejesus out of this young woman. She's just like, oh my God, I've got to cover myself up. He's there in front of me, stark as I can see everything. And I'm hiding behind this pillow because it's so scary. Ah. And he's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I just want to be with you. Let's be together. And doesn't realise that in his flurry of excitement and desire, that he doesn't realise that he's scaring her. It's a bit too much too soon, a bit too strong. So one or other of you might do that, be a bit too much, and if that's you got to rein it in, and if it's them, don't be afraid to walk away early or whatever, changing the plans, because good things will come from this first meeting, whatever way. You know, it might be you that's suddenly like, oh my God, this is it, this is the one for me, brilliant, 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 and they're like, what? No, I just want to talk to you, get slow, I'm slow and steady, and you might be full on. We have the Six of Chalices, and this is the nostalgia card. It's the past, the Six of Cups. You know, she's looking back and reflecting on a past relationship. So somebody might have just come out of a relationship, and that needs to be considered, because they're probably you or they are at the beginning of feeling ready to move on and to embark on new relationships. They are meeting you after all, but there might still be a residue of a past relationship, and that might be what's causing the hesitation and the reluctance to promise more than can be given, because there's an awareness that this needs to be a bit slower in order for you to properly let go of a past relationship, in order to be open and ready for another one. So if you or they are really sort of like, I think this is a great thing, why don't we just, you know, set up a string of dates because I just want to see you again. We do have the Star, which is like all hopes and wishes and wonderfulness, and it's all brilliant, and you know, almost an element if you've been waiting to meet the perfect person, that they're there in front of you. And I almost feel that that's one person and this is another, where they're bowled over and this person's a bit, well, hang on, I've had things happen, you know, actually I've not long had a bad breakup, so can we just be, you know, get to know each other, be friends, date each other. I do want to, you know, perhaps be in a relationship with you, but I don't want to be shoved in at the deep end. So I think the secret to the success, you know, in a sense of this first meeting is in that understanding, and that might be where your epiphany comes from, the understanding of the truth of a situation. There are still opportunities to be had through this first meeting, but I think the secret of it is by taking it step by step, and maybe for some of you even really baby steps. So I'm excited for you, for those of you that chose this one, because this seems like a really great first meeting for you and for them. So there you go. I wish you all the best of luck for this first meeting. Please take care of yourself. If you want a private reading, email me. It's all in the description box. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 3, this is your reading. How is this first meeting with this person you've met online going to go? So we have the Six of Summer, which is the Six of Cups. We have the Queen of Spring, which is the Queen of Wands, and the Nine of Spring, which is the Nine of Wands. The Tower of Sexual Magic here, we have the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Chalices, and the Six of Pentacles. Ooh. So with the other two readings, I fit in somewhere within the reading the message of always take care of your personal safety. You're meeting someone online, make sure, you know, people know where you are, it's in a public place and all the rest of it. I have a feeling that with the people in this reading, I don't need to spread that message. But just in case, make sure people know where you are and that you're meeting this person. But what we've got here is the Six of Summer. Children or childhood, the return of people or romances from your past, remembering events differently in a better or worse light than how they really occurred. So I think some of you are going to be really thinking about failed romances or whatever the situation is that you're meeting up with this person, that before it hasn't gone well, either with them or with other partners. And you're thinking about it, or they're thinking about it, and they're you know, when you look back at the past and it's either brilliant and then you suddenly find out it wasn't as brilliant as you thought, or the other way around, that it was terrible and you were, you know, really deprived, and then it turns out that actually you had quite a good childhood. So there's a belief here that perhaps all their other previous dates or meetups, that they were a loser, that they were terrible, or you're feeling that. Or hopefully it's not the other way around, that they thought it all went brilliantly and it didn't. I think it's more likely that there's a lot of self-criticism represented by this card, of looking back and thinking, you know, or even looking back and thinking, I haven't dated in 10, 15, 20 years, and now I'm meeting with this person, I'm completely out of the loop, I'm so out of date, it was completely different in my day. So there might be, I think there's going to be an element in this meeting of that. You might just both behave like kids and have lots of fun. That's an option. But we've got the Queen of Spring, who is brilliant, loyal, talented and friendly. Believe in yourself. Wonderful people want to help you. Maintain a balance between work and home life. Well, we're going to ignore that. I think it's a believe in yourself, and wonderful people want to help you. I think both of you are going to mutually want this first meeting to work really well. And I think just showing off how brilliant you are is a big start, but be friendly, warm and sort of committed to the meeting. You don't have to be loyal to them. You're only just meeting them, you know, now from being online, but show them what you're good at. You know, the Queen of Wands is a vibrant, warm person who isn't afraid to be herself. She isn't afraid to let her star shine and you know, let her fire burn. So yeah, just be yourself and be happy in yourself and let it show off. You know, even if things don't, you know, nothing comes of this first meeting, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a good time. We've got protect the fruits of your labours. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. Environmental conservation. I think this is not allowing your self-esteem to be damaged. You know, that's probably what a lot of you have really put your effort in meeting somebody online, and also the possible investment in the friendship that you have, that you probably spent hours talking with each other and getting to know each other online, sharing emails or text messages or whatever, and you probably don't want to risk that hopefully beautiful friendship that you've established. So yeah, you need to think about what you're going to gain and what you're going to lose, and also perhaps both of you are thinking and what you're going to focus on is making sure the online friendship stays strong. And also I think just not willing to risk the life you've built up for yourself, some of you, that you're both of you as individuals, especially if there's a distance travelled for one or even both of you, maybe you're meeting somewhere in the middle, is that you both have your lives at a distance and they're both important to both of you. So you're not going to risk it for one small meeting with the person that you've talked to online or, you know, known from a distance. And I think there's an awareness for both of you that, yeah, you've got your environment that needs to be conserved. You have your world that needs to be protected, your own friends, family. Some of you have children already and past partners, and you've got to consider all those things. And you know, the person that you're meeting possibly will have those issues as well. So yeah, I think there's definitely going to be concern for that. But also there's going to be a willingness to open up and trust, which is what this card represents. I mean, I am 100% prude, so I'm not the best person to look at this card and say, ooh. You know, but he really trusts her, you know, he's letting her time up, and she's got like rope, scissors, daggers galore, and, you know, nails, you know, hammered through her heart there, and he's like, okay, babe, yeah, sure, tie me up. you know, and I think I wouldn't suggest doing any of this with someone that you've just met online. But again, I am 100% prude, so if this is the aim of the visit, clearly that's not the best information I can give you. But it's about trusting and opening up. And I think some of you might be a bit closed off because of this element, you or they, of protecting what's important to you. Some of you are really protecting your children and yourself from further potential harm, especially if in the past you've had a series of rubbish relationships and you're sort of doing this in hope rather than expectation. But you need to open up and trust that this will be an okay meeting. You don't have to do anything that you're not comfortable with. You can leave, you know, you're not stuck there. Because I get the impression that there's a vulnerability for you and or the other person. You know, the Knight of Chalices is this sort of, oh no, I'm naked and he's come across me. You know, somebody wants to offer a love. It's the Knight of Chalices. They want to offer some sort of emotional sensitivity. It's more like, I like you. I've been looking forward to meeting you for so long. And one of you just feels really vulnerable, like, oh, you know, some of you might really like this person and it makes you feel vulnerable now meeting them. And you think, actually, this person knows a lot of things that I've not told anyone else. And, you know, because it's easy to be very revealing online where you're just a random name on the internet that you type the words and it's by, you know, cookie cutter 10,000, not by, you know, the real person. But now they're seeing the real you, and that's going to be a bit intimidating and a bit scary, you know. And I think you or they or both of you are suddenly made aware of that by this first meeting, that there's a lot to be exposed. But you don't have to be ashamed of anything. Like this young lady's, like, you know, doesn't want to reveal her nudity, you know, not that she's ashamed of it, but that, you know, she perhaps doesn't want him to see. But we've got to open up and communicate with other people in order to have relationships established and to have intimacy and closeness. You have to take that risk. And I think for this first meeting, that's definitely the case. That there's a bit of initial sort of feeling of, I don't want to risk anything. I don't want to risk getting hurt. It's happened too many times before. You know, looking at things in a worse light maybe. But also perhaps recognising that it's time to open up. Otherwise, if you don't expose that vulnerability, you're just going to be a solitary person in this fortress where there's just you and nobody else, and then you're ending up alone. And nobody wants that. This is why you're meeting this person that you've connected to online, because you want to, I think probably do want to open up with someone else, and you've just got to take the risk. And I think this meeting will either offer you that opportunity and you will take it, or it really raises that awareness of this is what the issue is. Next we have the Six of Pentacles. This is really telling you to seize the moment and just enjoy the meeting, enjoy the date. You don't have to think about the past or the future or make any plans. Just go and meet them and see how it goes. You know, it's really, yeah. You know, there's the past and there's the future. The past is gone, the future's yet to be, but you have now. You have now, and it can't be neglected, because you don't want to look and say, I regret not taking the opportunity to really have fun with this friend I've made online, this person that I wanted to meet, because I was always thinking about the past and always being frightened of repeating past mistakes or being hurt and all the rest of it. And I was always thinking even about what would happen in the future, that if I open up too much, the future would go horribly wrong because I've made the wrong choices. You just got to go and enjoy it and just sort of live for the moment and enjoy the moment, and see how it goes. And just sort of not worry about it, even if it's just with this first meeting, that you have the opportunity to realise that for a few hours you can just be free of anything because it's just a first meeting. and that if there is a travel at a distance, they're going to go away from you at a distance. So, you know, I'm imagining that you're just meeting up for a day or a few hours or something, you know, and that it's, you know, for longer duration visits, you know, perhaps it'd be different, but just enjoy it, because this card really represents boredom. So I mean, I'm hoping that you won't be bored on this first meeting, but I think you will be if you don't sort of try and enjoy it. It is going to be boring. You're going to be bored because you're going to be too scared to do anything or too scared to open up in any way. And it's going to be boring for them because they think, you know, why have I put in the effort to meet this person? Or the other way around, you're going to be bored because they're just this closed book that's, you know, covering themselves up and not opening up in any way. And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally and emotionally, just, you know, let's get to know each other. It's going to be boring for you. You're going to think, why have I put the effort in to open up, and we're getting nowhere. You know, the too much focusing on the protection of, you know, something means it's sort of closed off to that person. I mean, you've always got to judge it as this person is relatively unknown to you, and you don't sort of say, well, I was born on this day, and then list everything that's ever happened, including all of your passwords and important bank account numbers, and now I've just met you. You don't do that, of course, but you just sort of open up to having a bit of fun. And I feel that here there's a bit of closed offness in this first meeting, and that might hamper it really, from your side or theirs. If they're closed off, all you can do is be gentle and try and encourage them to open up. And if you're the closed one, be gentle with yourself and encourage yourself to open up. Even if it's just a small fractional thing where you open up, and it leads on to maybe further meetings with them or other people that you might meet online. So those of you that chose option 3, that's your reading. If you want a private reading, then please email me. All the details are in the description box. Otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck with this first meeting with this person. Please take very good care of yourself. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye.